New day, sun shines out again. We had a friend come through and do a little bit of mowing and that the other day, and has even sprayed some of the weeds through here. Especially we've got a kikuyu grass that was once in the backyard that still wants to be in the backyard. And because we sprayed the weeds, our little fella here, who normally lives inside but comes outside to play. This is Cello, the rabbit. So he gets confined to his baby barrier. Yeah, he's not particularly happy about it. Alrighty. Shed complete. Got my own green screen studio. Well, not shed complete, of course. I've still got to do quite a bit. By my estimate, given the current pace, probably be finished in a couple of months. Night all. Good morning, everyone. Well, guess what's arrived? That's right, we got a whole lot of wood. We got a mostly clean shed as well, a few bits and pieces. Motorcycle, which I started pulling apart in order to get it working. Hasn't been working, as I might have mentioned, for the last decade. Yeah, so we got some wood, and let me just show you a little bit around and tell you what the plan is, and then we might get started. When I was thinking about lining my shed, a lot of the videos that I found online were produced overseas, whereby the construction methods, materials, conditions are quite different to what I was finding here in Australia, in particular South Australia. This is the shed from the outside. It's corrugated iron on top and another type of corrugation, or in the panel style on the side. Single louvered window on the far side there, and around the front, if I ventured around there, you would see the two sliding doors. So this type of construction is almost entirely made of steel, except for the cross beams that go across, the studs that go across between the structure and the sheet iron. Alrighty, so typically we have a steel, it's a quad sort of shape, square around cross section, and that is what holds up almost all of the shed. This has the pole is cemented into the cement foundation. On top of these said poles that are in the concrete, they go up to an A-frame, and the A-frame joins into the top of the poles, where it sits in this middle structure here. Has just a little bit of a brace here that holds it down into that hole. Mind you, once you get this roof on, anything but the cyclones that Vanuatu are experiencing at the moment would probably keep it down, just simply because of the weight. At any rate, this top beam goes all the way up to the top, which joins another equal beam on the other side, and then we have this cross brace beam here, which is doing one important particular thing. That does not carry any weight there. These bars that are coming down to here is not for weight carrying. It is in fact to keep the walls from heading that way as weight comes down onto them. Importantly, this acts as a brace, or a tie is another word that they call it, to keep the two walls from separating as the weight pushes down on it. So unfortunately though, this here, as you can see, my hand fits neatly around it, is a little low. And so what we want to do is we want to lift it up. So one of the plans is to actually cut this beam off across here, take away this brace here, and then bring it up and re-weld it up to a point where it is around about 8 feet, which is kind of approximately here, and then go across. And that really should be a sufficient length to be able to create the tie and ensure that that does not spread with the load of the roof. And the key reason for this, obviously, is that we don't really want the ceilings sort of occupying half a foot above a tall person's head. I'm around about 6'1", not tall by today's standards. There's plenty of 16-year-olds that I know that have grown beyond me. And so what we want to do is we want to essentially push the ceiling up a little bit towards the top, up to that 8 feet mark. Because then we will have the beams going across, and then the gyprock, the plasterboard, drywall, depending on where you come from, will be mounted on top of the new stud work. The other thing that we'll also be doing with the stud work is the stud work itself will also act in a similar fashion to these steel ties. They will also be going across, of which the flat roofing will be mounted on. So basically that's what we plan on doing. I'll show you a little bit more about the fasteners and things when we get around to putting it up, and some of my concerns, which is, well, how do we keep this, keep the walls level, in particular because the stud work that goes across, of which you really can't see anymore. I'll show you a piece in a tick. But it's not all level. Some of them are a little bit further out, some of them are a little bit further in. It's just a single cross beam, nothing to really hold it in extreme tension where it stays flat and plumb. So I've got to try and figure out that as I put the verticals up, how I have them all level with each other, plumb, so therefore the gyprock sits on it nicely and creates a nice smooth finish. All right, on with it.